you're a seller, you're probably rejoicing. If you're a player, you're probably crying right now. People have officially lost their damn minds. When it comes to One Piece, everything is going crazy, everything's going up. Let's take a look at OP-14. Hey, it's me, AJD from the LA Hobbyist, and today we're going to take a look at OP-14's market price right after the release. So it's been 24 hours since the release, and it has absolutely gone nuts. Typically, in a okay market, you're going to see a 50% decline in singles, which hasn't really happened there. The Mihawk started off at 1900 almost, and now it's at 1548. Let's just use them as a case study. 1400. So it's declining, but it's not a 50% decline. I remembered when it was OP-04, the Sabo was $600 market price, and then when the clock struck midnight, it went down to 300. So again, great. It is great to see the demand for One Piece grow, but it is growing at an astronomically rate. So before I go on with anything that you hear is not financial advice. I will never tell anyone to buy a certain card. That is just not what this channel is all about. I do, however, have some authority in this space, meaning I worked at a card shop for 2 years. I've been doing buying, selling, and trading for about 5 to 6 years now as the LA hobbyist. So I do know when the market's about to crush me at this point, because of all of my cumulative experiences have led to this point. But it's crazy because if you are starting off like I did 5, 6 years ago, you may not know these things. So do as I say and not do as I do, almost. But I have lost money in the sports card space at some point because of lack of information. So this is through my lens and nothing more. I'm not going to give you financial advice. This is not the channel for that. But I do, however, will look at markets. So this is how I look at markets, and hopefully you guys will come along for the ride. If you find any of this information very useful, please subscribe to my YouTube channel at TheLAHobbyist. So I'm going to do stuff like this. It's going to be cool. It's going to be fairly simple, and it's going to be straightforward. So the way I look at TCG player is through this view, and then I would go through high and low for singles. And if I really want to hone in on the singles, I would just separate it by product type, and I would go by cards. And then here you can see the top cards of this set already. So I'm just, for a frame of reference, the market price is the cumulative price of what the card has done in its lifetime, basically. So basically, this just came out yesterday. So of course, a lifetime isn't as huge of an information, but I think, in my opinion, it's the most fair value that you can use. So if you want fair market value, it is the market price, in my opinion. So you have all of these cards, and they didn't even let up. The bow is at 800. The buggy just surged all the way up. It's supposed to let it go at 1800. There's a last sale for 1800, almost 19. That is insane. I'm taking a drink to that. Oh man, don't worry, it's not alcohol, but holy crap, that is nuts. That is insane. This market is very fever pitch. If you're trying to get into singles, you're going to look at 85 to 90% market. People are charging probably upwards to 90 to 110, 20%. It is an insane market. If you're a seller, you're probably rejoicing. If you're a player, you're probably crying right now. The One Piece community is slowly turning into a group of factions. The factions that just want to play people will be in that one group. The finance bros are going to, the investor bros are going to be on the other side of that, and then the collector on another side. So it's pretty interesting. I think things are getting hostile. There's just everyone stopped being nice when the money started getting better or started increasing. So whenever the money is being generated at a high volume and high rate and velocity, people start to get a little mean. And I just know this by experience. Sports cards was that way. That's kind of why I left that space. Didn't really leave, but stopped partaking actively in that space because it got so toxic. And One Piece, I'm pretty sure, is starting to get fairly toxic. It's just starting to be terrible, but we don't focus on what we can't control. We focus on what we can control, but it's so hard. What if you want to move sealed product? Well, you're titty man. You are not going to be happy about this. So we're going to look to the sealed, and you already see the market price climbing to about 3,000, but let's not get jebaited again by this value. We don't look at this value. If you know my channel, you're gonna see that I'm gonna tell you to not really look at this value and go down. We look at this as well. So view more data. You're gonna find $3,000 right across the board. It's already crept to $3,000. Let's then check what's available in the marketplace, and I typically go to verified sales, meaning they have to have about 10,000 plus sales. So this guy's at 25,000 and he's selling it for $3,000. So $3,000 at 50,000 sales, $3,000 here. It's slowly climbing up. So it is very easy to pump this market. I'm going to be very real about this. Even the smallest people can pump it. You can just buy all of this. That's not Japanese. You would just buy all this page right here and then buy all of this page right there, and it's done. The market just climbs another tier. Should you do that? That's up to you. Is it right? Is it wrong? I'm not here to say any of that, but it is from my observation that people are doing that. Groups are doing that. And it's up to Bandai to really put their foot down. And I don't think they're going to put their foot down at any time. They just released a thing. Let me see if I can find it. One Piece announcement. I can't spell right now. Announcement. They just released Bandai sealed product. That they released an announcement saying that they're going to just break the seal or whatever right here. So I don't know if this is an official announcement, but to help prevent resale and ensure the continued availability of our products, we'll remove the plastic shrink wrap from booster boxes at the time of purchase in all US One Piece card game official shops. We sincerely appreciate your understanding and cooperation. I'm sure you all have seen that everywhere. Everyone's sick and tired of it. But you have to understand, if you do that, you're going to skyrocket the prices even more. So I don't understand that logic. They're avoiding print runs, and I get it. They printed OP-1 through 4, I believe, right? Before that, they tanked the market. So I think they're very weary about tanking the market. But man, this is so difficult. One side's gonna say print more, but if they print too much, we would get Pokemon all over again. There would be too much availability. A lot of people have argued that too much availability will not shrink this market, which I'm probably gonna agree to that. The demand has gone global, and I just don't think it's gonna go down to zero ever. Will it go down? Yes. Anytime soon? I don't know, because Bandai's behavior is just it's very obvious they're just not going to do it. And then whenever they reprint stuff, they reprint from common to alt art. So when they reprint stuff, they give value to the value less, if you know what I mean. Pokemon doesn't quite do that, and that's why the market is what it is with Pokemon versus One Piece. And I think that's why One Piece has a stronger market. But when the going gets great in a situation like this in the hobby, people either tend to get really defensive or people are really happy. But let's say during the pandemic, right? From my experience, everyone was happy in Pokemon because everyone was able to move stuff around. Or maybe I was just naive, right? But now with One Piece, in my observations, people aren't happy. People are just I want to say cranky. They're just cursing each other out on public forums. They're just very talking negatively about everyone, about scalpers, and I get it. I don't. So I just hate the term scalpers, not because I scalp people, I don't. So you would have to go back to the definition of scalpers, and scalpers basically take a sealed loose. So the definition is loose sealed product. They buy it at MSRP, and then they sell it for triple. That's the definition of scalpers. If you have someone buying sealed cases from either distro or straight off of Bandai, that they're not considered scalpers, but there is such thing as a fair market value that everyone tend to forget because everyone's looking at these numbers and people want top dollar. They're gonna get top dollar. It's really hard to position yourself if you're not in it already. And even those that are positioned in this, such as mine, are having a hard time rebuying. So once you let this go, almost gone forever, which is makes it hard to sell as well, right? So there has to be a middle ground. I think printing more, maybe a solution, maybe, but they're not. It doesn't seem like they're going to do it anytime soon, which is nuts. I've never seen a situation like this, which is crazy. But that is my take on the market. Well, we'll just look at the. Sorry, I was going to Pokemon all of a sudden. But I honestly think, own personal play, I'm going to look at Pokemon cards because they're a little cheaper right now. But I have to be careful because the 30th anniversary is right around the corner and Pokemon prices are starting to skyrocket little by little. But this set is insanely crazy. So let's shop booster boxes. So if you look at the cases, there's 12 cases. If you divide that by the 3,000 by the 12 booster boxes in a full case, you're looking at $250, right? The market's already at 270. So again, 250, that's probably the median price of everything. You're going to look at the view more data because again, if you've learned anything in my channel when I started doing, this is my second market watch, first official market watch. And bro, 250, that's from the $3,000 price. But if you look at it, 270, you're looking at 3240 and change. So you're looking at way more than that price. And it's scary. When things get scary, people tend to double down. So I'm just gonna double down, but not on sealed product. My own personal move is to just stay in singles for now. It makes it hard to position myself with all of this shenanigans going around. So that's just my take, my opinion, and you can do what you want with it. Hopefully you learn something from me just looking at the market. I'll be doing this more often. I wanted to do this every day just because I check the markets every day. I check it for Pokemon, I check for One Piece, and I wanted to start a market watch series like that, but maybe I'll do it once a week on a Friday or something, or a Monday, something like that. I'll do it once a week, barring if I can just get to editing all of this stuff. So hopefully you enjoyed it. If you find any value, and I hope you learned how to at least navigate through TCG Player, please drop a subscribe for me at the LA Hobbyist. Appreciate you guys. I'll be doing more market watches, but do comment on the comment section if you want to see more market watches, how often you want to see it. You want to see it every day, which is almost kind of crazy, or maybe sort of once a week, maybe, or once a month. We can do a once a week, once a month type deal and see what happens. But just let me know what you think, how you're doing in today's, but it is going nuts. So it is crazy. All right, guys, you have a good one. I'll see you on our next market watch. Stay safe out there. Bye.